BOAWOE.
Many years ago, I had a brutal infection that landed me in the hospital. At some point in the night, somewhere between pain, meds, and fever dreams, I saw a man standing at the foot of my bed. He wasn't just there. He looked like he'd stepped out of a different century. Hooded and cloaked, the lower half of his face covered by a dark scarf, like a Wild West outlaw or a pulp hero lurking in the shadows. Only his eyes were visible, piercing, icy blue, the kind of eyes that feel like they're looking through you instead of at you. He raised a bony hand toward me, as if commanding me to take hold and follow him. And for a moment, I actually started to sit up. I don't know why. Some instinct, some pull, like gravity had shifted and he was the center of it. But then fear washed over me, sudden and primal. I froze. I refused. And as soon as I did, he just faded, like smoke dissolving in a draft. The dream shifted, and he was gone. Later, I learned my fever had spiked to 105 degrees Celsius, and the staff had thrown everything at it: cooling blankets, ice packs, frantic monitoring. The fever wasn't responding, and for a moment, they genuinely didn't think I was going to make it. I still wonder who that man was and what he wanted with me. All I know is I'm very, very glad I didn't take his hand.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Best of and the Worst of Experience. My name is Ryan, and thanks for checking us out. For those of you that are new, and we are new, what you saw is what we do around here. We take some stories, we take some personal experiences, we run it through the meat grinder, and hopefully you got something out of it. Anyway, we got some more videos to come. I always save my favorite for the end of this video, so make sure you stick around and check that out. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye.
I was 8 years old, which in Little League means two things. I was terrible at baseball, and I was absolutely convinced I was amazing. One game, I finally got my moment. I hit the ball. Not a foul, not a dribbler, a real, honest-to-goodness hit. I took off running like my life depended on it, arms pumping, helmet bouncing, parents cheering. I slid into second base, popped up, and raised my fists in triumph. The cheering stopped. My coach stared at me like I'd just confessed to a crime. The umpire sighed. My teammate gently informed me I was supposed to stop at first. I looked down and realized second base was empty. No baseman, no tag, no defense at all. I had just stolen second from nobody. Worse, I had run the bases backward. In my excitement, I'd sprinted to third, thinking it was second, and slid into what was technically shortstop. The umpire called me out. The other team laughed, and my mom clapped anyway. I still claim it was aggressive base running. When I was about 4, my family took a big trip to Disneyland Paris, and the universe immediately rejected the idea. First, the suitcase with all my stuff, and my mum's, but mostly my teddy bear, got launched off our UK to France flight and somehow rerouted to Africa. Don't ask how. Even the airport couldn't explain it. From there, it disappeared forever. Then our hotel had no record of our booking, so we got shuffled to another one, where the staff handed us keys to a room already occupied. Nothing bonds a family like accidentally walking in on strangers in their pajamas. We finally made it to Disneyland, where, for reasons nobody could explain, none of the rides were operating. We basically paid full price to walk around a theme park-sized gift shop, and then, on the day we were leaving, someone abandoned a suitcase at the airport. Unfortunately, this was 2004, 2005, peak if it sits still for 30 seconds, we blow it up era. A guy sprinted past us yelling "Bomba! Bomba!" followed by an actual explosion. The French authorities literally detonated the luggage while we waited to go home. Somewhere in some random storage room, my suitcase and my teddy bear are buried under who knows what. There was a taco stand everyone swore had the best tacos in the city. No sign, no menu, just a folding table, a grill, and a man who looked like he hadn't taken a day off since 2009. The line was long, which in taco science means worth it. I waited patiently, stomach growling, spiritually preparing myself for greatness. Then he arrived, right behind me, but got in line in front of me. This guy ordered like he was defusing a bomb. "Okay, walk me through your tacos," he said loudly, like the cook was about to launch into a TED Talk. The cook gestured at the grill. That was the tour. Undeterred, the guy asked which meat was healthiest. He asked if the tortillas were gluten-free or just emotionally free. He requested no onions, extra cilantro, but not too green, and sauce on the side, but also kind of on the taco. Time slowed. People behind us aged. A couple quietly reconsidered their life choices. When I finally got my tacos, the universe went silent. I lifted one toward my mouth. That's when the guy took a bite, frowned, and announced, "Honestly, overrated." The cook stared at him. I stared at him. Somewhere, a lime rolled off the table in shame. Without breaking eye contact, the cook rang a little bell, pointed at the guy, and said, "Next time, McDonald's." The tacos were incredible. I ate them angry, which is the worst seasoning, but still better than being that guy.
Man, that guy sucks. And I appreciate a critic, and we all have opinions, but to shout it out and to act like your opinion is law and everybody should worship what you think and what you feel, man, that guy definitely sucks. Anyway, if you guys are liking what you're seeing, leave a comment in your comments, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and we will see you on the other side.
Once, while waiting for a bus with a friend in the rain, we saw a kid riding a scooter down the sidewalk. He couldn't have been older than 10 and was wearing a blindingly bright, high-visibility orange raincoat that was comically oversized. He was gripping the scooter's handlebars through the sleeves at the elbows, and the hem of the coat flapped around his knees like he was preparing for liftoff. As he got closer, he noticed me staring. He stopped directly in front of us, looked me dead in the eye. Then, in a perfectly serious, world-weary voice, he said, "Some people don't like my raincoat. And you know what I say to them? Leroy Jenkins." He leaned his head back and screamed. And with that, he kicked off down the sidewalk and disappeared into the rain. My friend and I just stared at each other, then laughed until the bus showed up 10 minutes later. Still worth the wait. I used to walk my cats every evening, which is how I became that girl who walks her cats. They followed me without leashes, moving like they understood the path better than I did. Together, we'd head toward the small woodland behind my neighborhood, a place people avoided once the light began to fade. The cats always changed when we reached the trees. Their bodies went low, fur lifting, eyes fixed on spaces that looked empty to me. They'd spread out, forming a loose half-circle in front of me, as if I were something fragile that needed guarding. Bells went still. No birds sang. The woods felt crowded without anyone there. That's when I'd feel it. Pressure behind my ears, a faint buzzing, like whispers just beyond hearing. Shadows stretched in directions the sun couldn't explain. Once, I heard my name spoken softly from deep between the trunks. I never answered. The cats would hiss at the darkness in the woods, their sounds sharp and furious, and whatever lingered there would retreat. the air would lift. I could breathe again. One night the cats were acting especially frisky, tails whipping side to side. They did not want to go to the patch of grass that we normally went to. I could feel it in them. I got the message, and we walked back home. This time, they were bringing up the rear.
And who would have thought that the cat ladies out there are doing God's work? Them and their cats protecting us from the trollkins that live in the woods. We need them. Next time you see a cat lady out there, show some respect. Anyway, that's the end of the episode. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I've got some links up here for our other episodes. We released 5 all at once. So there's some more good stuff that you can check out. And I'll see you next time. Bye.